Good morning from Nairobi, Kenya. Today is Sunday, the 25th of May 2025, and I'm making this video to tell a short story about my travel experience in Kenya. All began well. I arrived via Addis Ababa on Ethiopian Airlines into Nairobi on Wednesday afternoon, the 21st. I went to my hotel, which is between the airport and the city, but only about 10 minutes drive from the CBD of Nairobi. It's a 5-star hotel, very highly regarded. It's called the Ole Sereni. There are 2 buildings to the Ole Sereni. I didn't know this, but it looks like I'm in the older one. But anyway, on Thursday the 22nd, roughly 24 hours after I arrived in Nairobi, I made my way out of the hotel to get in a taxi which was inside the hotel car park. The taxi was not what I expected. From this point, I was being kidnapped. It's fair to say that the following 4 hours were the scariest of my entire life. There were points when I thought, this is it. This is where my life ends. I was taken on a roughly half-hour drive along the very well-known highway in Nairobi called Mombasa Road. Obviously, it's the main road that leads from Nairobi to Mombasa. We passed Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and where I'd arrived the day before, and carried on for about another 5 minutes. This is not where I was expecting to be going at this point, beyond the airport, no. We took a left turn on a somewhat rough road into quite a sketchy neighbourhood. We went about 250 yards, round a couple of corners, and I was told to get out. I was escorted into a building and upstairs and into an apartment. I was met by 5 Kenyan men. I was forced to strip naked. The 5 men sitting on top of me. Photographs were taken of me in this state. They went through the small bag that I was carrying. There was a small amount of cash, which obviously went. They took my phone and started to go through it. I had a small wallet in the bag which had 1 debit card and 2 credit cards. The largest man of the 5, the eldest one, who I would say was the ringleader, was holding me by the throat. Initially put his knee on my throat, but then changed to both his hands holding my throat. I was forced to give the PIN number for my cards and for access to my phone. One of the group took my debit card and 2 credit cards, to wherever. He disappeared for probably an hour whilst he rinsed everything he could from my accounts. Meanwhile, the elder ringleader guy, he's going through the banking apps on my phone, taking screenshots. So more like he was taking photographs with his phone rather than screenshots, for my banking apps for the 3 cards that had been taken, and he was messaging who I think was the guy who'd gone off with the 3 cards to take what he could. This all seemed to take an eternity. At one point, I really needed the bathroom, and I was forced to urinate in a bucket with the 4 men watching me. After a period of time, I was forced to enter the password so that my Apple account could be logged out of on that iPhone. That creates a 59-minute delay. So we had to wait there for another 59 minutes while this happened. At this point, my watch had been taken off me, and my AirPods and sunglasses were in the bag, and they obviously disappeared as well. The guy who'd been back and forth with the cards, doing what he could to take what money he could, and the elder guy had left the room, and I thought they were just in another room in this apartment, but after a period of time, it's clear that they were no longer there. And one of the younger guys who'd been holding me down said, "You can get dressed and leave now." They said, the elder guy is going to meet you at the main road. There will be an Uber there, and he's going to go back to your hotel with you, and if you give him 40,000 Kenyan shillings when you get back to your hotel, he'll give you back your phone. So at this point, I got dressed, thankfully, and left this horrid apartment, making my way down to the main road. It's gone dark now. It goes dark at 6:30 in the evening in Nairobi. So I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, and I'm walking through quite a sketchy ghetto in Nairobi, and I'm getting some strange looks. Nobody said anything to me, but you can see what's going through their minds. Quite rightly, they're thinking, what's this white man, only shorts and t-shirt, walking through around here for? But I remembered which way the taxi had come when... it probably wasn't a taxi, when we'd arrived, so I retraced my steps. I got to the main road, and I just stood for a moment to gather my thoughts. Obviously, the guy who was supposedly coming with me to the hotel and returning my phone in for some cash, that was just a ruse. That just didn't happen. There was no Uber. The guy wasn't there. But thankfully, I was out of the place and I was alive. I wouldn't say I was safe at this point because I was in a very dodgy area, but I was alive. I didn't really know what to do, so I started walking back in the direction of the hotel that I'm staying in. I, strangely enough, the thieves, the criminals, had left me with 1,000 shillings, which is about £5 or $6. I don't know why, really, to be honest, but they'd left me with 1,000 and taken the rest. So I did have this very small amount of cash on me, not enough. I doubt it was enough to take a taxi. Anyway, I walked for about 5 minutes back in the direction toward my hotel. I probably made 1% of the total journey. And there was a corner with 3 guys on motorbikes. So I approached them and I said, could one of you take me back to the Ole Serini Hotel? The one at the front said, ask him. It was the third guy along. So I asked the third guy and I said, can you take me to the Ole Serini Hotel? Do you know where it is? He said, yes, I'll take you. Of the 3, he had the larger motorbike because it was a half-hour journey. So I think they wanted the guy with the larger motorbike to take me. So I paid this guy 1,000 shillings for a motorbike ride in the Nairobi rush hour on the back of this motorbike in such busy traffic. He rode the motorbike over a footbridge to get to the other side of the road at one point. Thankfully, having ridden on many motorbikes in Southeast Asia, I'm pretty comfortable on the back of a motorbike. I mean, the guy even gave me a helmet, which that's not always the case. But that got me back to my hotel and back to the calm and tranquility of the hotel. So that was the end of the ordeal. But then begins the cleaning up exercise. So I entered my hotel, walked to the reception. I was shaking like a leaf. And I briefly mentioned to the receptionist what had happened, and she called someone from security who came and spoke to me. The hotel allowed me to use their phone to phone the 3 banks to get the ball rolling on stopping cards and clearing up any transactions. At this point, I'm not sure what the total is, but I think they've attempted to take something, many thousands of pounds, because they were not only using an ATM, but they were using like a credit card terminal from like a hotel or a restaurant or something. Whose restaurant bill is £2,500 because that was one of the transactions. Those transactions are all still pending at the moment, and hopefully the banks will all decline them, reverse them, refund them. But I'll possibly make a part 2 to this video to follow this up when I know the full details. I went to report the matter at a local police station that very same day, accompanied by some security personnel from the hotel. I went to a Langata police station. The police were all very, very, very friendly and helpful and professional. And I reported the matter, and we drove back to the hotel, got back at 2 a.m. I've had to have a further 2 visits to the police station Um, we went again on Friday and went through the details with the detectives who were working in the daytime. I was there. One of the security staff came with me. He's called James. He came with me, and we spent several hours at the police station chatting with various people. And two of the detectives came back to the hotel, and they spent a good amount of time reviewing the CCTV, and were able to get a good look at the type of vehicle, and they got the license plate of the taxi. I have to say that this journey on Saturday to the police station, we went in a hotel car, and the hotel have billed me $50 for the round trip. Very kind of them when you've just been robbed. I had to return to the police station for a third time on Saturday to make a formal statement. And this was a shorter trip, although I was still there for probably about 2 hours. Nothing happens quickly in Kenya. But basically, the guy wrote the statement as if he was me writing it, I this and I that, but they weren't my words, but it was an account that I'd relayed to him, and then asked me to sign it. They also gave me a document which is called an extract of a police report, which they think maybe I might need for insurance or the banks. But anyway, I've got this document, so it's proof that I've reported this crime. One of them told the security gentleman who was with me that the owner of the vehicle has been traced, but the owner was not the driver. And they're speaking to him on Monday, so maybe they'll get some leads through the owner. They also want me to provide the IMEI number of the phone that's in their possession, or that they took. It's probably no longer in their possession, but it's difficult to find the IMEI number of a phone when you've not got the phone and you've not got your SIM card, because everything I'm trying to access wants to send me a code to my number, the number which is for the SIM card that's in the phone that's been stolen. Without that number, I can do almost nothing. So it's now my last full day in Kenya. I'm going to try and have a relaxing day today without... I hope I don't have to have any further visits to the police station after 3 times there. I feel like I've been in that police station longer than I've been at my hotel. I was hoping for some sunshine today, so I could just relax by the pool. Well, it's just rather cloudy and overcast, so luck is definitely not on my side. If you're still listening after 19 minutes, thank you very much for listening to my story. My advice to you: do not ever come to Kenya. Tell all your friends to never ever come to Kenya. Thank you for listening. Just a brief word from Editor James. Now I'm safely back home in Manchester. If you enjoyed listening to my story, or even if you didn't, please leave a like and subscribe, and I promise there'll be some more travel related content to come, and it will be a little more light-hearted than this particular adventure. Additionally, if there are enough questions, and I will make another video with some Q&A about the whole ordeal, and if there's enough information to make it worthwhile making an additional video with what happened with the bank, the police and so on, including insurance companies, then I will include this as well. But thank you for listening.